Hi everyone, welcome to episode 4, and in this one we'll be finishing up all the forest ruins. So in this video we'll be finishing all of the forest ruins, and we're going to start with this one, the one that Frodo kind of dashes past on his way back to the shore. So we can start by making the basic shape. And using a reference image we can position that over the top. And then use keyframes to move it into position and then back, so we can more easily edit and select parts of it until we get the form that we need. It's a nice little trick when you haven't got any really good reference to use. Then it's time to weather it down. We're going to give it the look and feel of age and ruin. And we're going to add the details once the base details are established, adding those lines where we can see how the piece was originally constructed. Moving on now to the pillars, as you can see behind Boromir. You don't see a lot of different angles of these, so we've really just got to rely on what's there and what looks good compared to the shot. I needed 3 of these as I felt that would allow me to have different versions to place around the forest, and also they're not mirrored across each side, so they do look individual at each angle that you put them, so 3 to 6 should give us plenty really. I also needed to make some simple plinths for the statues that we made last time to sit on, so I quickly just made some of those too. On these pillars we're going to pick out some of the features we can see on screen, the cracks and dents and overall feel of the piece. Once we have one complete, we can use some nice little production tricks to speed things up a little bit. In this case, we can take our pillar shape, the first of the 3 that we made, and then apply all of that detail to the other 2. It just gives us a bit of a head start on detailing. It's a nice little trick in production, where there's a schedule to follow. You need to use little techniques like these just to get you across the finish line. And the other 2 pillars, we can just go ahead and start sculpting them to make them look a bit more individual. And these are the first couple of sets of prints, looking pretty good. Now speaking of tricks, this is another nice little one for you. We need to create broken versions of the pillars. You see a lot of them scattered around in the film. So we don't want to really model them individually. we can use the models we have and break them apart to create new ones. We'll hide and delete the parts we don't need. Then rebuild and sculpt new details into those pieces. Now the broken pillar behind Boromir has some pretty distinctive details, so I want to make one for that shot, just as a bit of a nod to the film, and we can place it onto the board in position. Prints look good again. I'll get them cleaned up and ready for the board. Now there's a small bridge which Merry and Pippin run across when they try and distract the Uruk-hai away from Frodo as he makes his way back to the shore. Again, limited reference, but we can take a look in Photoshop to get a better picture of the bridge and the details we need. Here I'm just referencing the size of the top of the bridge compared to our model, and that's represented by the cylinder on top. And having made notes about the number of stones we can see in our reference images, I can start to add the resolution we need to create those details and start to block out the centre too. Before removing the middle section, we won't be needing it. We're just lifting up those ridge tiles. Here I'm creating the mortar gaps between the stones, and we can detail and sculpt this later. Now I can bring the centre back in and work on the inside details. It's one of those things, it might not be seen, but I always think it adds more to the scene. It's always worth the extra time to add these little details. There are a couple of stones curved around the mouth of the bridge, so we can quickly add these. Just create a curve for the geometry to follow. And we'll just duplicate those. Now it's time to age the stones. We're going to add details to rough them up a bit. We're going to add cracks where we saw in the reference. Some final detailing across the front before sending it to print. And 9.5 hours later, here's the print. It looks okay, but some of the supports failed. So we'll see if it's okay. I'll clean it up and snip it, and we'll see what it looks like. I really hope you enjoyed this episode, and you can see all of our pieces together here. We're really cracking through all this work now. The next episode is the biggest one. It's the Numenorian kind of structure that we see on the hill, and we'll be tackling that next. So I hope you enjoyed this one, and please like and share and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps the videos, and I hope to see you in the next one. Cheers.